Rodeo Live is brought to you by Hire, History, Heritage, and a hell of a comeback. And Folds of Honor. Honor, educate, unite.
Welcome back to Rodeo Live, presented by Tractor Supply, live from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and the Governor's Cup. We want to take you into the fold here in Sioux Falls, and there's no better way to do that with a truly honored guest. Governor Larry Rhoden is here. This is your namesake event. This is the Governor's Cup, the richest rodeo in South Dakota, and describe the pride that comes with that in this great state.
Yeah, well, to be born and raised in South Dakota, and I actually carried the legislation in 2003 to make rodeo the official state sport. And I come from out west, and we love rodeo, and to have this quality of event, I mean, you won't see anything like this on the planet, save maybe the National Finals Rodeo.
Governor, just the state sport of South Dakota, that is one of the coolest things that I think is possible. To me, the oldest sport, and you guys have so many champions that come from this great state, and that's just got to make you proud to know that you have the biggest rodeo in the state right here in Sioux Falls.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I grew up in, just outside of Sturgis, in the Great Plains, and, Tom Miller and the Ed Bowers, and just dozens of great names in the sport of rodeo. We've raised, when I did the debate on making rodeo the official state sport, somebody wanted to make basketball. I said, are you kidding? We've had like a dozen Michael Jordans in the sport of the rodeo from South Dakota.
Now, Governor, I want to know, because you were a part of that, of making that the state sport, what was it specifically about rodeo that you could tell somebody that maybe doesn't know anything about rodeo? What is it that makes the sport great to you?
Well, I think just its origins. Nothing exemplifies our heritage and our culture in South Dakota and our spirit. I say many times, without apology, that South Dakota is the freest state in a country built on the principles of freedom, and nothing exemplifies freedom more than the American cowboy in the sport of rodeo.
I love that. There's so much pride in the culture. I love the culture of South Dakota. My dad's actually from South Dakota, cowboy from up here, so it definitely is close to my heart. And you see the culture in rodeo as well as throughout all different aspects of the state. You are part of the Buffalo Roundup. I know that's a huge tradition. What is that like?
Yeah, that was just the day before yesterday. A great event. We had something like 25,000 people show up to watch those buffalo come in, and I've always been more impressed looking at the hills covered with tens of thousands of people watching 1,500 head of buffalo come into the corrals. So it is a great event.
No, it definitely is an amazing tradition here. And Governor, I also want to know more about this event here, the Governor's Cup in Sioux Falls. This is the third year that they've held this great event. Do you remember what it was like to bring it all to fruition and the big idea of it?
Yeah, when Rory Lemmel first called me up, and Rory grew up about 20 miles up the road from me, and my wife taught him in school, and so when he told me what it was about, and I explained it to Governor Noem, it took about 2 seconds to convince her that it was the right thing to do, so we went to work on it, bring it to South Dakota.
Well, I do believe in 2020, South Dakota single-handedly saved rodeo with the Rapid City finale, you guys taking that over and really taking care of the contestants. And then it wasn't 2 years later, I was at a press conference here to announce that the Governor's Cup was going to be a part of the real finale of rodeo now. You're watching this rivalry now grow between South Dakota and North Dakota with how they want to put rodeo back on the map. What is it that South Dakota does that just showcases that we are the premier Dakota?
Well, I think our reputation stands on its own. We've produced more professional cowboys and world champions, I think, than certainly per capita, I will say. But we exemplify rodeo, and we do it well.
I love that. Cowboys per capita. South Dakota definitely getting the win there. We love this state. We love this event. Thank you so much for all that you do for rodeo.
Yep, my pleasure. Great having you here. Great event.
So cool to have Governor Rhoden here on Rodeo Live. When we come back, we're going to talk barrel racing. Trisha Aldridge and her stallion Adios Pantalones have broken records across their short career. They're moments away from clenching their first trip to the NFR.
Rodeo Live is brought to you by RM43, Serious Weed Control, and Las Tunas, International Horse Breeder.
Well, that's why they call it Sioux Falls, a beautiful sight right there. And another beautiful sight here at the Governor's Cup. An awesome crowd all lined up to get to experience this race for the top 15. And in the barrel race, a lot of eyes are on Trisha Aldridge and her awesome stallion, Adios Pantalones. They have set records and become a force that barrel racing won't soon forget. But Trisha has also shown us it's not just about winning, it is about a bond between a rider and a horse.
Trisha Aldridge and Adios Pantalones. It's the horse called Goodbye Pants. Runs so fast, he just runs right out of them.
There's this big story to tell, and I'm just the instrument. I feel like that he's gonna inspire a lot of people to chase their dreams.
She wasn't supposed to be here. No ranching background or roots in rodeo. Not even a plan to go pro. But in one of the toughest sports in the world, Trisha Aldridge has taken one horse, one shot, and done what no one else in the barrel racing world saw coming.
Your Texas lady is among the top 20 in the world.
They won $500,000 together last year in fraternities alone. Top 10 in the world.
My family is all from California, actually, and so not a lot of opportunities to own horses here when you grow up in the city. My dad was in the military and we moved around a lot, and I begged and begged and begged for a pony when we lived in Tennessee. And my first real horse that I had on the barrels, it was when we moved to Texas.
It all started when she trained a 14-hand Arabian named Flame to run barrels. An unlikely start for both of them in the sport, but he opened a door to a bright future in barrel racing and the opportunity to work with some of the fastest futurity colts in the game. But it is not an easy lifestyle.
When I was in college and when I was younger, I always rode for the public, and it's always been my goal to not ride for the public. I was like, I want to own my own best horses. I want to make my own money. So I guess it's been about 5 or 6 years now, and I was like, okay, I'm only gonna ride for me. No more client horses. And right out the gate, I had 2 stifle surgeries, a back surgery. I had the worst case of strangles that ever went through my barn. And now I'm on the hook for all of it, all the vet bills, all the everything.
For years, Aldridge made it work, building 1D barrel horses while riding through setbacks. But one prospect stood out. And for the first time, she wasn't just training another one, she was betting on her future.
So definitely a financial risk, but I think he was priced at $30,000 and I offered $25,000. And that's a lot of money, especially on a weanling. That was the toughest part, is you don't even know what you have when you buy a weanling. I mean, you hope, but something just very strongly was you need this horse. And so I don't feel like that very often.
The horse, Adios Pantalones.
He really wasn't anything. He was kind of always at the back of the pack and just really easygoing. And as he got older, his ego progressed into what he is today because he was just so good at everything.
In 2023, as a 3-year-old, Adios Pantalones stepped onto his first big stage at the BFA slot race and left with $35,000 and a reserve title. By June of 2024, he was the top earning futurity stallion in the country.
He's the winningest futurity horse ever and the winningest stallion ever, and so he won 10 futurities last year. He was reserve at 5, and he was top 5 at another 8. And so he ended the year with $550,000 in earnings.
When Adios finished his futurity year, there was a lot of talk. Many people said he was only good in futurity setups, that he wouldn't succeed through the difficulty of pro rodeo.
They were like, well, he's great, but he's just not going to be fast at rodeos, or he's just not going to be able to transition. And I think that's been a big driving force for me. It's I want to show people that he is the best.
They're trying to go to their first NFR. Adios Pantalones broke pretty much every record there is to break in the futurity world. Now they're officially in pro rodeo.
Come on, Trisha, get the money, get the money.
Welcome to the Pants Party.
Just for a 5-year-old to be able to do that, at big rodeos, he's done way better than I even could imagine.
From city kid to futurity trainer to full-on NFR contender, Aldridge's entire life and career changed because she believed in this one horse.
It was really crazy because I was like, my idea behind going was like, I've never rodeoed. I never would have imagined I'd go out with one horse and be like, that he can do it. Like 2 years ago, like even last year, I would have been like, I'm not gonna rodeo. It's so wild. I feel like I'm a carny now. When I was 30 years old, I was like, I think I had 30,000 in Equistat. And now, you know, I'm 36 and I'm well over $1 million. And I share that to tell people it's never too late. Like, don't give up on your dreams, because I would have never imagined that this is where I would be sitting.
Wow, Trisha Aldridge continuing to inspire so many people at home. And I know there's thousands of Adios Pantalones fans that are sitting at home or watching in the stands that are going to be screaming for Trisha Aldridge to try to make her first ever NFR. But Sierra, that horse is only 5 years old. He is fresh off of his maturity year. It is an unreal story.
It really is. I want to know, Trisha, if you're listening, what was that gut feeling you had that as a weanling you thought, I'm going to take this financial risk and I think this horse has something? Please describe that, bottle it if you can, and sell it to all of us.
Exactly, and I think that just shows that when you bet on yourself, when you bet on your horse, dreams can really come true, and I think that's going to happen for them. They should be safe going into their first NFR. She's going to move into 14th with that $4,000, but we have a bubble race in the barrel race still. I'm looking at Haylin Lyde. She's going to be coming up. She's number 17 coming into this Governor's Cup. She's still number 17. She is going to have to get through this 8-man. She has to make it in the top 4 if she wants to have a chance at going back to her second NFR. Keeper, they just won Puyallup. They were awesome in that setup. They were faster yesterday, but they're going to have to take it to the next level tonight.
They really are, which I do think that especially horses like this, the more runs you get in that specific setup, the faster that they get. Those horses know how to shave off time, and the riders do too. So I'm going to assume we're going to see the fastest times tonight.
Well, I agree, and overall I think the times are getting faster, which is kind of a tough spot for Haylin Lyde. That first barrel, they were really close to it yesterday. We'll see what we get down this list right here. Megan McLeod-Sprague, she's just been on fire, moving up in the standing. She's number 7. Carly Otero, Emily Beisel headed to her 7th. I think the one that the fans here in South Dakota really are cheering for, though, is Lisa Lockhart. She is headed back to her 19th NFR. And this crowd, I mean, you can barely hear the announcers in the Denny Sanford Arena because everyone from South Dakota knows and loves Lisa Lockhart.
What a cool horse she's on now, too. It's almost kind of sad when you don't see her on a buckskin, but man, she can ride anything, and that horse looks unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's really exciting to see, but we also have to talk about that breakaway roping. The bubble race is maybe one of the most exciting we've seen so far here at Sioux Falls. Our RM43 in the weeds is who you want to pay attention to with Taylor Munsell. It is the Taylor Munsell show here in Sioux Falls. She just crossed into number 1 in the world standings, but she's chasing another record that's very, very much in reach.
It really is. That's the all-time season earnings record in the breakaway roping. She has done it. It has not been officially announced yet, but we crunched our numbers and we think that she has done it. And again, keep in mind, this is all-time season earnings. We haven't even gotten to the NFBR yet. Of course, it'll be broken once we get there, but she's got it, and she is also safe at number 1 right now.
Yeah, the question is, could it be Taylor Munsell or even Shelby Beaujolais-Medjid who breaks it all over again once we get to Las Vegas? It's going to be that fun head-to-head world title race between Shelby Beaujolais-Medjid and Taylor Munsell. Up until the last round, I really feel that way. But we have a bubble race. This is an exciting one. We talked about it on day 1. Martha Angeloni comes out in round number 1. She misses. It was devastating. We all think it's over. It wasn't over.
It definitely wasn't. What an unbelievable run that she had here, too. I mean, we just saw that's her first run. It was devastating. That calf did step over to the right, caught her kind of in between swings, but wow, this run last night, I loved it. I saw an amazing TikTok early this morning that said, when the lion's hungry, it eats, and it showed this run. You could see it on her face as she nodded. She was taking the shot no matter what.
Yeah, Martha Angeloni, a lion for sure, and a world champion. Bailey Bates, also on the bubble, a bit more of an outside shot, but there's a chance.
It is not over. We were kind of thinking that too. 2 bubble girls coming in, we thought, okay, what do they have to do? The simplest way, both of them have to make the 4-round today. All right, so they get to the 4-round, what do they have to do? Bailey has got to win 2nd or better. Martha can win 3rd or better. That's our best way to describe it in the easiest way. I mean, 2 shots away from an NFBR qualification. 2
very pivotal runs coming up for Bailey Bates and Martha Angeloni. Here's the bubble just so you have the visual. Everyone, this is from Wednesday from the WPRA. They haven't updated their standings swings. They're not planning on updating them officially on the WPRA website till Tuesday. But Bailey Bates, Martha Angeloni are in 19 and 20. They're highlighted. They are here. But take a look. 11 through 18 not competing at the Governor's Cup. So that opens things up so much, but you still have to come in and do your job.
You definitely have to. And there's also something to note, too. If we were talking about all the other rodeos that are going on, some of these guys have backup plans, have that jet waiting. In the breakaway roping, all we've got is Stephenville left, and the perf is at the exact same time. So especially those bubble girls, there is no backup plan. It is now or never.
Yeah, pay attention to the breakaway roping today. Actually, go ahead and pay attention to the whole rodeo, because there is stuff on the line in every single event. It is all about the bubble. We even broke some arena records. It's going to be a fast day here in Sioux Falls at the Governor's Cup. We're bringing it to you when we come back. You're watching Rodeo Live, presented by Tractor Supply. We have some amazing fans out there, including that bull right there, just checking out this amazing show that we have going on. And we also have a great team of experts: Luke Branquino, Sierra Spratt, and three-time world champion bareback rider Tim O'Connell. You're noticing I'm teeing up Tim here because we're talking bareback riding, our Las Tunas horsepower to watch, picked by none other than yourself here, Tim. Who he rocks. This horse is pretty exceptional.
This horse is very exceptional. Spent most of his life in the E-pin, but Bradley Miller's got him today, and Bradley has looked phenomenal in these opening 2 rounds. The one thing about Hui Rocks, though, everybody's got their hands full, but Hui is exceptional. Likes to take this long scoot, is long with his front end, hits you in the back. You have to be so patient on this horse not to bring your feet until he breaks. And then he makes a left-hand corner around there. If you don't catch the corner perfectly, this horse is going to steal your rigging from you and make you feel it the whole time. She bumps you in the back hard, and you can see right here, when she gets you around that corner and you don't get in it, this is the price you pay for missing the perfect timing shot with Hui Rocks.
Ouch. Watching that ride actually makes you hurt just a little bit for Bradley Miller, but if anybody can handle that horse, I feel like that's going to be a great matchup.
I really like Bradley's style matched up with this horse. The way Bradley's been firing his feet, pitching his feet, when he comes around that corner, if he holds around that corner and pitches at the right time, Hui's going to catch him in midair, and it's going to pick up the way he pulls his feet up and kicks him back in a half moon, where other people like to come out like myself, like a Jess Pope, like a rocker. We come out and drive our feet home. Bradley pitches his feet. It's an opportunity for him to catch the timing in midair, beat Hui to the ground, and get around that corner and have the timing as she comes across the arena.
Well, that's why Hui Rocks is the Las Tunas horsepower that you need to watch. But we also have some contestants that you want to look out for on the bubble. A friend of ours, we're all cheering for him, of course, Tilden Hooper. It's unusual seeing him on the bubble, but Tilden, he's been looking really solid.
He is looking really solid. This is the veteran of the group. He knew what he had to do to come into this rodeo, what he had to get done. Has a little trouble in night one, and then last night he lit this place up. Third guy out of the buck and shoot, has got a wild horse called Wild Child, back and forth, jumping, kicking, head slinging, turning back. Tilden looks right down the barrel, fires both feet, gives it everything he's got, lights it up with an 86 1/4, which essentially punches his ticket. Gets a check in the second round. He's going to get no less than $4,000. He should be somewhere around the $128,000 range. He's going back to his 10th NFR.
Right, 14th in the world. He should be safe, but a lot of things can happen. Another guy we're looking at on that bubble watch, Jacob Lees. He has been in this position before. I'm sure he's thinking, how did I get back here? But he knows how to capitalize.
He does know how to capitalize. He came into this rodeo in 2023 in the inaugural. Lights it up in the first 2 rounds, wins second in the first round, ties the second round to move on to his first national finals rodeo. He had some issues last night. There was an issue with the neck rope hanging on his left foot, and when you're a contestant and you see a yellow flag get thrown from a judge, you could tell he looked at it, and in the middle of his ride, he almost got a little bit defeated. He slowed down his spur stroke, cost himself a few points, but the neck rope man pointed to the back judge and said, I hit his foot with that rope, gave him a free roll, gets him into this 8 round, but he has got to get to the 4 round today. If he does not get into the 4 round, he has a 2:58 flight out of Sioux Falls with a 25-minute connection in Denver to make San Bernardino tonight. All the cards are laid out. I might even tell him about that jet. It might be a little bit easier, but a lot on the line for Jacob Lees tonight.
Wow, there are so many small details that have continued to keep Jacob Lees' NFR dreams in tow. How cool is that? Here's a list of the matchups we have. You mentioned Bradley Miller and Who He Rocks. Jacob Lees, he's got Powwow Nights, Tilden Hooper Collects Call, Huda Haka, and Sam Peterson. I feel like we haven't talked about Sam Peterson enough. First NFR, he's number 2 in the world standings. Is there a matchup that really bounces out to you?
It's really between Jess Pope and Tarnished Silver and Bradley Miller and Who He Rocks. I think those stylistically, Jess has aced Tarnished Silver before for a high 80s score. Bradley and Who He Rocks could produce our first 90 of the bareback riding. When you ace that horse, it's usually in them high 80s, low 90s numbers. Those two stand out to me on paper as the premier matchup. But make no mistake, this 8 round, everybody has their hands full.
Yeah, of course, they're taking the top 4 on to that showdown round. Clean slate all the way through. We got to talk team roping a little bit. Not a lot of bubble drama anymore left on that team roping with Luke Brown and Trey Yates winning that round, but we have new world number 1s. I think we've heard of these guys before.
Yeah, Caleb and Jr. is no stranger to the number 1 spot. You can see right here, they know how to go get it done. No time in the first round, but they advanced on 1 head with the second round, which we've seen in the breakaway roping and the bull riding. So these guys know how to win, they know how to compete, and when the cards are on the table, they know how to put all their chips down and go for first. And we've seen that last night, moving number 1.
I think the fans are excited to see this team back. They've had a lot of good moments, world championships. They've also battled some downs as well, and now it seems like they're back in full form.
I gotta know, they cut out the video. Did Junior lean back? Can you tell me? Did he lean back?
Oh, he leaned back.
I didn't even see the video, but I'll tell you that he probably leaned back.
Good.
Here's a look at your contestants competing in the team roping today. These are your top 8. We mentioned Luke Brown and Trey Yates. They were on the bubble. Now they're number 12 in the world standings. Jake Smith, 14. Douglas Rich, 17. I guess that is kind of our bubble right there. So there is something possible. Is there even more pressure when it's a team situation?
Yeah, I think, to that point, if you're already in and your partner isn't, that's almost more pressure on you. I got to go do my job so my partner can get in. And Jake Smith, he's right there, 14th, but he needs to go get a time, get in the top 4, so him and his partner are able to move on to the national finals.
Yeah, I just want to be a fly on the wall. What is Douglas Rich saying? Like, hey, man, I'm 17, so let's go ahead and catch today, twice, and make it happen for me. So it's going to be fun to watch the team roping for sure. But from the very beginning on Rodeo Countdown, Luke, we talked about this in the steer wrestling. It is maybe one of the closest events, and it definitely was coming in. A lot of guys that were on that bubble are not competing here at the Governor's Cup, but it was so fast last night.
Yeah, it was crazy. The steer wrestling the first night was amazing, but last night we seen the arena record set by Justin Schaefer. Now this steer was good. They won the first round on him, but the start is oh so important. Horsepower Banker does a good job, but Justin's timing is so impressive, and you're going to see it right here. Hits the barrier. Watch this steer wants to come around. Justin's ahead of him and finishes, and that's one thing his strong suit is his timing, and it showed right there. 3 flat, unbelievable run, first in the aggregate, which the aggregate doesn't pay, and really he was in that spot where I need to go get some more money to get higher up in the standings, and that's exactly what he did. And look out, because he's got a chance today.
You must have given Justin Schaefer some tips whenever you guys are working out, in the mornings.
I just told him to lift heavier like I do.
Exactly. When you take a look at this list and the world standings on the side, Gavin Swallow 19, Chance Howard 14. What goes through your mind? What pops out to you?
Yeah, Gavin Swallow, he has to make the top 4 too. If he makes top 4, he's made the national finals. If he doesn't, he's going to be short by just a handful of dollars. The thing is, he has a steer they were 2-0 times on. Bridger Anderson and Mike McGinn both missed this steer, but there's nothing wrong with him. Those guys just didn't get any body, didn't get him caught. That steer they've been 3 on throughout the year, so it is an opportunity. Gavin's going to be able to get his feet on the ground way faster than he did in the first 2 rounds, and goes and does what he does that got him here. Look out, Gavin Swallow's going to be in the top 4.
Well, and the other guys are flying all around the country trying to make it happen today if they're not here at the Governor's Cup. So it is going to be down to the very last dollar in the steer wrestling. Now, in the tie-down roping, a guy who's definitely safe in terms of the top 15, but he's definitely looking ahead to another world title, is Shad Mayfield. He is trying to three-peat the Governor's Cup, the only person who has the possibility of winning this huge PRCA rodeo 3 times in a row. Shad has not bobbled.
No, not at all. And honestly, he made a great run that first night on kind of a strong running calf, like Luke had mentioned, and he has put together some amazing runs just doing his job. They did mention last night he was an 8 flat, and they said out of all of the years that he has been at the Governor's Cup, that was his slowest time he's ever put up, which is very impressive considering this.
Wow, definitely. Yeah, 8 flat, Sam really slow, only Shad Mayfield, and maybe another guy like Riley Webb would say something like that. But this is the story that we are watching. We're talking bubble, bubble, bubble. Shane Hanchey, he was $370 behind 15th. Well, now he's $458, and so we're trying to make it in there. But Shane, there's a lot of possibility. He just has to go in there and do what he always does.
Yeah, and Shane's the guy that has the jet setting on the tarmac. If he doesn't make the top 4, he's going on to San Bernardino. If he does make the top 4, it's pretty much done for Shane. Then it's a battle for that 15th spot, I believe, with 2 guys battling it out. So one's at San Bernardino, Quaid Hyatt, and then Kyle Lucas is at Stephenville. So Shane gets in the top 4. It's going to be those 2 guys battling out for the last hole.
Yeah, we definitely have some people at Cowboy Channel that are on the edge of their seat following this tie-down roping race. It's going to be really exciting, really nerve-wracking, but we are already looking ahead to Las Vegas in the NFR. A guy who's not at the Governor Cup, but will be there at the Yellow Buck and Shoots is 8-time world champion Stetson Wright, looking for the Triple Crown.
Rodeo Live is brought to you by Ariat. Ready, set, riding boots and jeans that work as hard as you do.
That's what it's all about. There's a reason they call it the Governor's Cup. This is the finale of the Cinch playoffs. We're determining who's going to be making it to the NFR, who is chasing those world championships. And despite devastating injuries from the 8-time world champion Stetson Wright, he is already preparing to showcase everything he's got for round 1 of the NFR.
8-time world champion Stetson Wright is in town.
He needs help.
I collapsed my lung, broke 5 ribs, but I've got home now. I've been doing therapy, rehab, and I feel like my body has bounced back pretty good. There's been a lot of things this year. It hasn't been my regular blow everybody out of the water season, but I still feel like I'm in a good seat when I get down to Vegas because that's where the real money's at. I feel like that's where I shine. That's been like the main goal. Like when I won my all-around world title in 23, I told everybody I'd be back, and I'd be back when I was winning. The way I would describe my career, before my hamstring injury, it seemed like it was all wins. This young kid just keeps winning gold buckles after gold buckles, and that's when I got labeled Superman. This injury was kind of like the first deal where everybody was like, holy crap, like maybe he is human.
Stetson Wright was Rodeo's Superman, unstoppable and unbeatable. At the end of the 2023 regular season, he was headed to the National Finals Rodeo with a shot at turning 7 gold buckles into 10 and accomplishing his lifelong goal of the Triple Crown of Rodeo.
Superman, Stetson Wright, #1 in the world in saddle bronc riding, #1 in the world in bull riding, trying to win the Triple Crown. Shades of Trevor Brazil, trying to win the all-around, the saddle bronc, and the bull riding world championship.
Less than a month before the NFR, he made a stop at the Wilderness Circuit Finals, where he rode a bull that ended up being Superman's kryptonite.
Around the 5-6 second mark, I reached down and grabbed a deep hold with my outside leg, and when that happened, I felt a pop and like an elastic shooting down my leg. I rolled off, and when I went to get up and run, I took like a step or two maybe, and my body just locked up and I fell forward. I was in full panic mode because the NFR was literally less than a month away. The preparation heading into the 23 NFR, it was pretty intense. I was driving an hour every day to go to physical therapy. They would hook me up to machines trying to get my leg to fire, which I knew I was lying to myself, and I was lying to everybody that was in that physical therapy center. They would ask me if it hurt, and I would say no, but everything I did in there was killing me. I could see the end coming, but I didn't want to accept it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo.
Well, we've talked about Stetson Wright, the injury that he suffered this fall. Is it going to affect him here in Las Vegas? Well, we're about to find out as we watch him on his first bronc.
Like, I was so scared for the first round to happen. In the first round of the bronc riding, I got on.
All right, Stetson, great mark out. This horse has got some power. Stetson Wright. I don't know which hamstring was the problem, and down he comes in 7.5 seconds. But I want to see him get up and walk back. That's what I want to see.
Which I rode that horse to 7.45, and I was like, holy crap, maybe I can do this. And then I got on a bull in that first round that I should have rode. I couldn't have fell off any quicker. They had to get up and pretty much tell me move so they could shut the gate.
Everybody knew he was hurt. We knew it was groin, and we knew it was bad. So you watched him ride that first night, and it's like, oh no, he can't do this.
That was the start of the end.
All right, stall. Trouble again. You can see him.
He was trying to get to his dad, and I mean, there were already tears streaming down his face.
I was pretty tore up. I crawled over the chutes. First person I seen was my dad, and I remember just breaking down in front of him and telling him, like, I can't do it.
Stetson withdrew from the remainder of the 2023 NFR due to a torn hamstring. He had surgery on December 23rd.
When I got it done, it didn't feel normal. Nothing felt normal.
In June of 2024, after more than 5 months of recovery, Stetson was cleared to ride again. But after painfully covering a bull and trying to ride a bucking horse at practice, he felt another pop in his leg.
And that's when I found out that it was tore again. They told me that it was way worse than the first time, and Like, you're done. This ain't gonna get fixed. You need to go find a different career.
We were very concerned. The fear that we all had that he would not return.
I was lost. Like, for the first time in my life, I went out in my car, had my moment, called my mom and dad after, and I said, we're just gonna find a new surgeon. Got into him July 2nd, and I knew when I woke up from this one that it was a completely different surgery. Most guys that do hamstring surgeries put you in a brace, crutches. When I woke up, he told me, you don't need crutches. Like, you're never gonna tear this ever again. He was so confident in his work. He put 2 ACL cadavers in it, beefed it up, and he sent me out the door. Gold buckles were back on my mind.
6 months later, Stetson climbed back onto his first bull to start one of the greatest comebacks in rodeo history.
It was the practice pen, and I looked back across the arena. I seen my dad. See, this makes me emotional because he had tears rolling down his face. I looked over, my mom was on the back of the chutes videoing. She had tears rolling down her face. I felt like I had just won a world title.
When he came back, he just picked up where he left off.
My season started in Denver, Colorado.
He's back, Peacemakers. Name of the bull. He's healed up. Back the other way. Holy cow.
I was soaking up everything that I'd missed in the 14 months. Hearing the crowd go off like that and the feelings I had, it topped every gold buckle I'd ever won.
But now he's been given a second chance, another lease on life. He's not going to waste one moment.
For the first time in 14 months, making his triumphant return to rodeo, Stetson Wright.
Boy, you had to love that.
I do still feel like my story is still being written, and still to this day, people question whether I'm still me. I told everybody I'd be back winning. The way I want my story to go is to win that Triple Crown. That's when the story would be finished.
Superman has returned.
Well, Stetson Wright is writing his own story as he chases that Triple Crown, but we all know it is all about family right there. Statler Wright, he was able to get here to the Governor's Cup because Stetson's injuries that he got from Puyallup. So that opened up a window, and I know Stetson is at home cheering on his entire family every single time they ride. But Superman is human, but he is one of the toughest cowboys our rodeo world has ever seen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I knew exactly what he was feeling. When I did my hamstring, it was one of those things where my leg is not working. How am I going to compete? And you try to tell yourself, I can still do this. Well, that's what your mind's saying, but your body is not doing it. Now, Stetson, he went through all the right steps to get back to healthy, and we see this now. And there's no doubt he is the Superman of rodeo, one of the toughest human beings in the sport, and one of the kindest, nicest human beings in the sport, too. So, it brings joy to me and everybody in the sport to see the effort he puts in, knowing that he was sidelined and his dreams were drifting away. He's getting right back in the middle of it.
Yeah, he is. He's at home right now recovering from those injuries from Puyallup, but he is going to be back at the national finals in the saddle bronc riding. He's still #1 in the bull riding, but there is a lot at stake in the bull riding today at the Governor's Cup. In fact, this is your higher stakes story, and the stakes could not be higher for bull rider Clayton Sellers. He is number 20 in the world standings. He gets the call. He did not even think he was going to be able to compete at the Governor's Cup. Well, Stetson Wright, he was unable to come. Clayton Sellers got the call. His entire season could turn around, but he still has to ride bulls today, Tim.
He does have to ride bulls today, but that's what Clayton Sellers does. He's in this position because he rides bulls so great. He's the defending champion of Sioux Falls. When you watched him in these opening 2 rounds, he took his first bull to 7.8, came back last night, sticks it all over 1, doesn't get that check that he really needs, but gets him a good enough score to give him a shot at this title again. This title again, it's just coming down to who rides bulls, and Clayton Sellers can get it done.
Yeah, and he really showed it. Even in round #1, he went 7.8. He was right there. He's riding so good. He's feeling good. Everything has a chance to go his way on that bubble race, and I'm pretty sure we're all cheering for Clayton Sellers right now.
I'm pretty sure that every one of us picked him for our rodeo pick. I'm not 100% sure, but...
Well, that's a little teaser right there. We're going to go over some rodeo picks whenever we come back here on Rodeo Live. It's going to be so fun. We're getting closer and closer to the final round of the Governor's Cup. Welcome back to Rodeo Live, presented by Tractor Supply. The countdown is on. We are getting closer and closer to the finals of the Governor's Cup. But if you want to be all a part of the rodeo action, you need to definitely go to rodeopicks.com or take your phone out, scan that QR code, and be a part of all the fun. It is friendly competition, but there is money, there's prizes, there's so much fun to be had with Rodeo Picks. In fact, we have a little friendly competition going with our group here, and we're always like, who's going to win, who's going to get the big job done, and move on to the National Finals Rodeo. So we want to go through our rodeo picks for the Governor's Cup. Now, I also want to let you know that the game is going to be open until the 4-man round of the Governor's Cup. So be paying attention. Watch Cowboy Channel. Let's get to the bareback riding. Of course, I've got Sam Peterson. Really excited about that young man. Who do you have?
Well, when you look at this pen of horses and you see the 8 guys and the 8 horses, this is a heavy hitters type of format. This is a version of the eliminator round you're going to see at the national finals. Who's the best in this group at the eliminator pin? That's none only than the 2022 world champion, Jess Pope. This is his bread and butter type of round. When it gets in that 4 round, it might be a little bit different. But when it comes to these horses, Jess Pope is shining today.
And just so happens to be Tim's best friend. That also helps a little bit. Sierra, who do you have?
I didn't know any of that information. I went with Tilden Hooper. I'm still confident with it.
Gotta love Tilden. Luke?
Cole Franks. He's going to go get it done.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's really great. Okay, well, let's go into the steer wrestling. Tim, who do you have in the steers?
I like the 5-time world champion, Tyler Wegg. Clean slate formats, running at these steers, that's my guy.
I also went with Tyler Wagg's pack, too. So Tim and I, we did not go out on a limb at all there.
I went with brand new dad, Dakota Aldridge.
Oh.
All great picks. Tyler Wagg steers a little bit stronger. They were long on him. I got the info. That's why I was doing homework when you guys were dancing. Good pick for yours. But Justin Schaefer's going to carry that 3-flat momentum in. He has a good steer. They were 3-8. Actually, Dakota Eldridge was 3-8 on him in the first go-round. And then Cody Devers missed him last night. That steer's going to leave sharp, pick his head up. He got out behind the hazer for Cody, and that's why he missed him. Now, if that steer tries that when Justin gets his head cracked, look out. We can see another really fast time.
I love that. Okay, in the team roping, I'm going with Luke Brown and Trey Yates. I think they're a solid team.
I think another solid team that has some gold buckles on the back end of it is Clint Summers and Jade Corkill.
I copied you. Luke Brown, Trey Yates, all the way.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the champs, Caleb and Junior.
Oh, really went on a limb there. I love that. Okay, in the breakaway roping, I am all about that bubble race. Let's go, world champion Martha Angeloni.
I mean, I love how fast Josie Connor can put it on a calf, so I went with Josie.
Did you copy me? I went with Josie Connor as well. I specifically chose her because she hasn't had the best luck so far here, but it's clean slate. She's got the horse to be the fastest time, hands down. Dutch is unbelievable in setups like this. I think she's going to rise to the top.
Well, they've seen my list. I'm going Josie Connor.
Ah, well, there you go. Maybe a little cheating there. That's a look at our breakaway roping picks. Martha, okay, just Josie's almost across the board. I'm glad that I could mix it up just a little bit. But they obviously copied Luke Branquino on that because you're our breakaway expert. Everybody knows that. Okay, and in the saddle bronc riding, I am going to just completely copy myself from Hugh Allop. I picked him there. Q Taylor, he has been on fire. He's 19th in the world. He's our bubble guy. He has been riding amazing all season long, and they're really just starting to give the guy credit that he deserves.
Well, I tell you what, the opening 2 rounds, this guy is having more fun than anybody. He's dog walking his horses to the outgate. Dawson Hay is going to get it done in Sioux Falls.
Well, see, again, I didn't know the insider information about the certain pin and while the bubble guys drew the better end, you think, but I went with Damian Brennan, and I'm still feeling good about it.
That's
Sounds
a good
like you need
choice.
to do a little more homework.
You're the one doing homework just 10 seconds before we're live.
Janie and I are bookend. We're going to go Q Taylor. I like where your head's at, Janie.
Let's go Q. You heard it right here. Okay, tie down roping. I almost feel bad about this pick because, you got to love Kyle Lucas and Katie Lucas out there, but Shane Hanchey, he was my pick. That guy, he's a veteran. He's a legend. He's headed to his 16th NFR.
I'm going with the Missouri pride of MVC in the calf rope and the dark horse in the pin, Tom Kraus.
Riley Pruitt all the way. You got it.
Hanchey, he's going at him.
About there. Okay, there we go. In the barrel race, of course, South Dakota's own, headed to her 19th straight NFR, Lisa Lockhart. Let's hear it. Woo, South Dakota. Woo-hoo.
I mean, I'm going with Emily Beisel, fan favorite, my favorite, Emily Beisel all the way.
All right, I went with Lisa Lockhart too. She's got a great draw. I made make sure they were going to drag.
She's a fan favorite.
And she's a fan favorite. And that horse has been doing so good in this tiny little setup. I think it's going to be even better.
Yeah, look out for Emily Beisel. This is not working. I'm going to use Sierra's microphone. It's like you're interviewing me again.
Okay, it really does look like we're all copying each other. Okay, get to the bull riding, and I have a kind of a strange feeling that we're all going to match on the bull riding. I don't know why. Of course, I am going with Clayton Sellers. This is his time. He's got to step up to the plate. This is the moment for Clayton Sellers.
It is the moment for Clayton Sellers, but it's also the moment for Wacy Shala to take command of the bull riding race.
All right, see, I went with Kai Hamilton. Now I don't know. I'm all confused now. I'm still going Kai.
So I lied when I said I think we all picked Clayton Sellers, but that's my pick.
Absolutely it is. See, Luke, we really are on track. Clayton Sellers, he's going to try to get into the top 15. We are moments away. This is the really big day. We are moments to crowning champions here at the Governor's Cup, towards getting to find out who's going to be moving on in the top 15. The World Championship race is getting even closer. It is time to throw it into the arena. Jeff Metters and Butch Knowles kicks off the finals of the Cinch Playoff Governor's Cup.